Unboxing my new baby, the Icon 73-inch blue. I let my wife pick the color out. She's just as in charge as I am, and I don't want to say she allowed me to buy it, but obviously she pays for it just as much as I do, so I picked the size, and when it came to the color, I said, well, what do you think? And she thought blue would maybe be kind of cool. Made sense to me. I didn't have a problem with it. I think I told somebody it could have been pink, and I would have been cool with it. I just wanted it in the toolbox. Wanted / needed. Got a little rut roll with the current toolbox, and as a result, we needed to do something. And I'll show it to you here in a little bit. It's a Waterloo. My father-in-law, my wife's dad, went to the Minnesota State Fair in the late 90s. I can't remember exactly the year. I can't remember the year. But he went to the Minnesota State Fair, and Machinery Hill certainly was not what it was back in the late 80s, very early 90s, probably late 70s, 80s, all of the 80s, and then into the, I think early 90s. But I do believe in the late 90s there still was a little farm equipment up there, for lack of a better term. But one of the things that's up on Machinery Hill, if you go today, is, there's some tool guys up there that, I don't know, sell, northern tools up there with a tent and got all sorts of tools and everything. At any rate, but there are toolboxes up there, and I remember seeing them, or I guess I've seen them a few times. I've went to the Minnesota State Fair since. But he went to the Minnesota State Fair, and he didn't say nothing. And I don't know if it was a month after the fair showed up, or after the fair ended. All of a sudden, the truck showed up one day, and it had this toolbox in there. And, well, at the time, it was huge, and it's a nice box. I won't badmouth it to this day. It's a Waterloo. Bearing slides on it, and it's a good toolbox. 42-inch and 17 or 18 inches deep. I don't remember. I think 18 deep, but it seemed huge. And I'll show you when I can move the camera, aka the phone. I'll show you what I still have. What we were basically using for a toolbox prior to getting this Waterloo, if for no other reason, we quickly filled the Waterloo up and needed the extra space, and some of it's a catch-all in that old toolbox, but it served the purpose. But this Waterloo we got, getting back to that, boy, I felt like we had the world by the tail. I did, and we quickly outgrew it. But let's just say it was 2000. Obviously, that's 24 years ago, and wow, we probably outgrew it within the first 5 years. But you make do, and between that and the old toolbox, you just made do. Bottom line. So then this winter, I had one of the employees that helps us. We've got great guys. My shop here is tiny, as you can see, but the people that help us, if there's something that they need to work on the car or whatever, I mean, they're welcome to use the shop as space allows. And he had his car in here, and the latching system on this Waterloo, it never really had a latch. It was kind of a detent at the end that was supposed to hold the drawers, and they wore out, and I think you probably have to replace all the slides to fix it. So I said, you know, it wasn't a big deal. The worst drawer was a socket drawer, and that is stupid heavy, way overloaded. Replaced the slides on that once, was able to get parts from Waterloo, you know, really good that way. But, you know, the drawers have a tendency to come open on their own. And it's really bad if you've got a couple of drawers open. I don't, you know, obviously it's sitting on concrete, and well, how level's the concrete? Pretty darn level, but certainly not perfect. But at any rate, what I wasn't in here obviously when it happened. I came in after the fact to, you know, I don't want to say a mess, because he actually did a really good job cleaning it up. But what happened is the drawers started opening and it tipped over. And I think we had a skid loader sitting kind of close to it, and it ended up tipping against that skid loader, so it didn't completely crash to the ground, but it crashed over far enough that, you know, I should just grab a camera and show you this toolbox as I'm talking about it and what happened. So there it is. Waterloo, 42-inch, bottom chest, top chest, you know, darn good toolbox. Sitting next to it, that is what the Waterloo quote unquote replaced. It's two toolboxes, a Homac, and Lord knows what the red top one is, but now we've continued to utilize those, like I said, you know, kind of a catch-all. Some of it is, you know, markers and whatnot. A lot of the you know, air chucks or the smaller ones, valve stems, caps, you know, everything. Obviously do all my own tire stuff, so there's a real catch-all drawer. But at any rate, and then different size wrenches, the small wrenches, 1/2 inch, 7/16 and smaller, da 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 da. But at any rate, this toolbox, what ended up happening is drawers opened up, it crashed over, fell against a skid loader. Skid loader was sitting kind of, you know, about where this box is sitting, and it wrecked the bottom drawer. Wrecked it. It's probably fixable if you got new slides and took a hammer and straightened it a little bit. I mean, it's probably usable, and it's quite likely I might look into doing that and repurposing this box to another part of the farm. The top part, my intentions are with the top part right now. It's going to be a little goofy, not color coordinated, but it goes back to I want to, you know, my wife picked the color, and I'm cool with it. But I'm actually intending on taking the top part, because for the most part, those drawers are all fine. Everything works, you know, like it's supposed to for the most part. I'm actually going to put that on top of this one right now, and I'm going to eliminate those two toolboxes. They will, I don't think they're going to even get repurposed. They are probably going to find their way onto the scrap iron pile and to the scrap yard. We'll see, but they will be leaving the shop. So that happened, and like I said, he did his best. I mean, crap came out of the drawers. This particular drawer, this is kind of it. Get back here. It's a little bit of a catch-all drawer, but it actually, there's a method to the madness in that drawer. But you know, all these drawers dumped out onto the ground, and he didn't really know where everything went, so he did his best, and I certainly appreciate it. And yeah, it was frustrating, you know, when you walk in and you just, oh no, because you know, buying a toolbox wasn't really in the plans right now. And you know, it's like everything in life, but certainly farming, you know, there's times that you can spend some money and not worry about it, and then there's times where you're just not looking to spend any money. And dairy prices being what they have been here the last year and a half, that kind of fell into that category. I certainly wasn't looking to spend any money on a toolbox. That was one emotion. The other emotion was, well, I got a reason to spend some money on a toolbox now. So started the research process. I'm going to put you back up here. And started the research process on figuring out what am I going to do for a toolbox. I knew I wanted to go bigger, needed to go bigger, and that led me to, okay, how big do I want to go? I've got a 42, 56, depending on Snap-on, your 55s or 54s. Harbor Freight, 56, and then there's the 72, 73. Did what probably most people do nowadays. I don't really use Facebook a lot anymore. Why do I have Facebook? Marketplace. Because if you want to sell something today, it seems like that's the best place to list it. You're going to get eyeballs on it. And that's where I go now. If I'm shopping for something used or whatever, I'll go to Marketplace, see what's out there. So I went to Marketplace, excuse me, and started looking at what was out there. And, there are a ton of Snap-on boxes, Mac boxes, Macos, nice boxes, obviously. I'm not a professional mechanic. For this little space that we have, I'm pretty proud of what we do out of it, but I'm not a professional. But these drawers get opened and closed a lot, and there's a lot of tools in there, and I just wasn't willing to spend for a 73 inch. I decided I wanted to go to the 73. It's what's going to fit in this space. I'm not moving this toolbox around in this shop, certainly. There's no reason to. It's, I don't even know, what is it, 32 by 40, 42? It's an old corn crib, converted in the mid-1980s when nobody had farm shops. He did farm shops with concrete floors. My father-in-law and his brothers, they converted this corn crib, into a shop, and back then it was certainly big enough for all the equipment that, they could get anything they owned at that time in the shop, not multiple pieces necessarily, but the biggest tractor fit in here, hell, the combine fit in here, all that. But at any rate, like I said, I'm pretty happy with what we get done out of here. But it's not going to move. So because of that, with the space that I had, wanting to eliminate the old boxes, I'm like, okay, I want a 73 inch and basically do this once. Because I told my wife, this toolbox, this Waterloo, this black Waterloo that y'all saw, it showed up in, just say 2000. I want to say it was 99-ish, but I could be wrong. But say 2000, it's lasted this farm and me and whatever for 24 years, 25 years if it was 99. The next toolbox I buy, quite likely will be the last toolbox that I buy. And I didn't want to sell myself short and buy something that I regret. Or, kind of one of them deals where, I wish I would have bought the Snap-on, or, when you settle. I didn't want to settle, but at the same rate, trying to be a little bit dollars conscious, I couldn't justify it, even a used Snap-on box at $5,000. And I just couldn't do it. And they're nice boxes, obviously, or Mac or Macco. I mean, they're all darn nice boxes. So where did that leave me? Well, Harbor Freight. Obviously, in my opinion, they've gotten a really good reputation for having good value on toolboxes for a number of years. And I don't go to Harbor Freight a lot, but there's stores that have opened up within 30 minutes of here now, so you find yourself stopping there once in a while, or certainly if there's a special tool that you need, or if you need to mutilate a wrench, it's a good place to go buy a cheap wrench to mutilate it for a special, some special application, hydraulic fitting on a tractor that's tucked into a spot that's hell. Anyhow, so I looked there. I looked at Menards. Menards has this Masterforce 73 inch. Looks like a pretty decent box. To be quite honest, I probably would have bought that over the Series 3 US General box at Harbor Freight. It's a little bit deeper, and otherwise a lot of the same features in it. I like their latch system a ton better than the Series 3. I don't care for the Series 3 latch system. I've heard other guys say it. I've watched a few videos. I think they went backwards. I'm not 100% sure what the Series 2 was, because I wasn't looking. 100-day cough. I wasn't looking at the time. But at any rate, I didn't care for that at all. The Master Force was 2 inches deeper than the Series 3. And, there were some things to like. Price point was alright. I think it was $1,500 and $14.99, something like that. I suppose you get the 11% off if you remember to send the damn rebate thing in. So, I didn't know what I wanted to do for sure, but I knew what I really wanted. I felt like I really wanted, if I'm not going to spend for a Snap-on, Macco, I felt the second best option was the Icon. I really, they got the display set up, and I just really, really, really liked that toolbox. List price was, I think, $29.99. Just the box, no stainless top, nothing else. The 73-inch, what you see here. But, being, I don't want to say cheap, but trying to be a little bit thrifty, I'm like, and knowing that Harbor Freight is known for sending out coupons and having sales and whatnot. I was this close to buying that Series 3 box because they had put that on sale for $1,300, I think it was. I was actually really close. I was in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and I was going to go to the store and buy it. I'm like, it's not really what I want, but price is decent. It's a good toolbox. Several things I didn't like, but, and I was in the parking lot, and I called my wife, and I said, what do you, kind of told her the dilemma, my mental dilemma that I was going through, and I wanted to know what she thought. I don't generally like to, it's not a good idea to spend money. And not that $1,300 in today's world is a lot of money, but $1,300 is $1,300. I don't like to necessarily just go and spend it and tell her after the fact. If it's $50, that's one thing. Or, if it's parts to fix something that you need here on the farm, that obviously you're not. That's a different thing. For this, I wanted to get her opinion, and she kind of basically said, more or less, don't do something you regret, or, if you really want the other one, you probably should get that one, which I did, the Icon. But I wanted to get it on sale. Getting long-winded, still haven't got my damn box off of it. I was waiting for one of them 25% off coupons, right? But I don't know. I'll probably get one now after I purchase this, but it is what it is. But back late March, early April. Had to be early April. I don't remember what the occasion was, but they had a 15% off coupon, no exclusions. And I thought, you know what? Now's the time. 15% is nothing to laugh at. Out the door after tax, Minnesota for sure is going to get theirs. $2,700-ish, $2,750. I don't remember the exact total. $2,700 out the door after tax. $29.99 list, no coupon before tax. I don't even know what it is. 7.5% in this damn state now with tax. Minnesota's gonna tax you. So thanks, Walls. But it ain't even just him. It's been started years ago by others. But so at any rate, I can live with that, and it was time. Bought it in Mankato. We were down there for something else. My daughter had a track meet, and we just stopped at the Harbor Freight there. Bought it down there. Estimated delivery time was end of May-ish, which I knew it was going to be a while because I had asked earlier this winter, hey, if I bought one, when would I get it? And I'm typing, I want it like yesterday, like a lot of people. I'm not unique, but I'm kind of a, you know, I'm your typical spaz that way. I want it now. And, but I knew I was going to wait for it, and I was like, whatever, it is what it is. And I kind of reorganized this, and mentally I've gotten used to the fact that, you know, what had happened, and the bottom drawers especially don't work quite right. So lo and behold, like a week ago, I get a message from Harbor Freight, and I guess their delivery company, that I was told the end of May, you know, towards the end of May, right around the 1st of June. And I get this message, and, you know, hey, we're looking to schedule this delivery, and the earliest available date was April 19th. And obviously being on the farm and hoping, well, I was maybe thinking about doing field work, but the rain did that in last week. But I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I'll be around the 19th or whatever. And so then, boom, here it is. Sunday night now. I unloaded it, put it in the shed. I had a semi-truck in here and a Kubota UTV in here, tore apart, and they're out of here now, which is why I brought it in tonight. I just want to unbox it tonight. I'm not going to do really anything with it tonight other than get the box off of it, but I lost where I was going with that. Oh, it came on Friday, no problems. Took skid loader, unloaded it. 3 guys in the truck, you know, they had a lift gate, but you know, they were happier than pig and slop when I said, well, you just want me to grab a loader and lift it off of there? And they thought that was great. And real kind of funny story. If this video makes it to YouTube, which is where I post it, and if the person sees this, he'll get a chuckle out of it. But, you know, we unloaded this, and the 3 guys there, they were shimmying a 56-inch, a green 56-inch icon to the back, you know, for the next delivery. And I just kind of thought, oh, cool, somebody's getting a green 56-inch. So some friends, you know, I guess that's the best way to say it, some friends, some very close friends that we've worked together for a lot of years. And their son, who is now 17, you know, obviously I'd known the family before he was born, obviously, but at any rate, they bought some hay from me. And the 17-year-old came over to get that hay about an hour and a half after this box was delivered. And so I was loading the hay onto his truck, and he was in the tractor with me, you know, sitting in the buddy seat, and he's like, hey, you gotta check this out, you know, and he grabbed his phone and he showed me a picture of this green toolbox. And he's like, I got a new toolbox today. And I'm like, you're kidding, so did I. And it was a picture from a distance, so I couldn't tell, and it wasn't in the crate like this one. So I couldn't tell if it was a snap-on, or I didn't know what it was. It was green, but there's a lot of companies that make green boxes now. It's a pretty popular color. And, you know, I said, well, where'd you get it? He goes, I got it at Harbor Freight. It's an icon. And I'm like, that was your 56. You know, I told him, I'm like, yeah, I got a new toolbox too. I got an icon. It was delivered at 12:10 or whatever, you know, about 12:15. And he's like, well, they came to my place next. I'm like, yeah, I know, because they were shuffling it to the back door. So he got a pretty good kick out of that. I got a pretty good kick out of that. So Trent, if this makes it to YouTube, if I'm doing this right, if you can hear me, 12 questions, I'll find out when I hit the stop button and play it back. But Trent, if this makes this to YouTube, here it is. I took your picture. You've seen the picture, but here's the unboxing. I gotta figure out how to get the box off of it. I don't have kids young enough to care about the box. They can play with it or whatever, so I might just cut the side rather than jab and cut. Heck with it. Well, actually, it's seamed together right here. I can just pull that apart or staple together. I don't have to save the box for the kid, you know, for kids. Otherwise, this box would be exactly what your kids would want to play with. or I could put it on Facebook and sell it. Sell everything else on there. Whoa, buddy. Man, that's a big box. Why are all the paper mills shutting down? All the packaging nowadays, yeah, I get it. People send emails, but all this packaging nowadays with all Amazon and da da da. You know, I took a look at it. The guys didn't care who delivered it. I thought maybe they wanted it unboxed, you know, like this, so they could verify if there was damage or not. I've heard a lot of horror stories about the, you know, guys getting damaged boxes, and I'm sure it's probably, you know, if I post this to YouTube, right, and I haven't looked at it yet to see if there's damage, but, you know, maybe somebody would watch it and go, oh, well, there's a guy that didn't have damage, but, you know, it's probably a situation where the guys that get the damaged boxes bitch, either on, you know, there's a Harbor Freight page, an Icon page on Facebook that I have checked out, and you'll see comments on there, you know, and pictures, you know. The guy that doesn't have damage probably doesn't put anything, or, you know, percentage is probably higher, people that have damaged boxes delivered than those that don't. So, they box it well. I mean, I've farmed all my life. Worked in a feed mill for a couple of years in high school. Never been in a warehouse setting, retail, but that makes you wonder how rough some of these places must be with, or how poor operators they must be with forklifts. All this packaging that's, I mean, this is some serious cardboard. There's a couple trees killed to box this thing up. That's good. At any rate, it kind of makes you wonder how they can even get damaged, but I suppose if you're not careful, or you got somebody that it's their first week on the job with a forklift, and yeah, they took the training, but these aren't farm kids running these forklifts in these warehouses and stuff. You know, that day is gone to a large degree, where yeah, they've maybe never run a forklift, but they've been at home running, you know, XYZ piece of equipment since they were 12 years old. So they have, you know, they have that understanding. Those days are gone. But at any rate, so far so good. Looks good. I don't see any issues. The box was perfect. I wasn't too worried because there wasn't a nick in that box. And yeah, I got the headset on. I'm not sure because I got it hooked up, obviously, Bluetooth or whatnot, but I'm thinking maybe the audio is coming through it. So maybe the audio is pretty good. Wow. It looks darn nice. I don't see any damage. Well done, Harbor Freight and Icon, and I don't exactly, I don't think Icon's its own company. It's part of Harbor Freight, I think. But was it locked up? It's locked up. That's a good thing. Good thing they send the keys. Joking, obviously, but yeah, it looks perfect. Well done. Yep. There it is. I was darn impressed with this box. Way more than the Series 3. Obviously, I mentioned the latches, but yeah, if you took that Harbor Freight, and especially the big drawer, your socket drawer, and you opened it, and you kind of went like this, and obviously this one wiggles a little. I'm sure the Snap-on boxes do. I can't say I haven't tried it, but point is, it was beefy. And it's beefy, and the metal underneath. I watched some videos, like probably 90% of the guys do. you know, and then some guys have made really good videos about these boxes and some of the, you know, the pluses of them. I haven't found a lot of negative videos or videos where guys have had them and had really much of anything to complain about. Some minor things, perhaps, that I don't even remember right now. But I know one of the common themes that, you know, guys have talked about, guys really like the adjustable latches, as did I. I like the fact that there isn't that latch underneath, plastic. Still just don't understand. Latch on one side, yeah, I'm told on the Series 2, you had to always unlock it only just in like the first couple inches. Now that goes the whole way on the Series 3, but all plastic. And in this shop, with the number of people that go into a toolbox, it ain't gonna last. I might be wrong, but I just did not, I didn't see that lasting. And I'm sure there's parts available, and I'm sure there's probably warranty and all those things, but I liked 25 inches deep. I like the fact the drawers open all the way. I like the latches. I like the adjustable. Obviously, it's got the, I can bring it over here and show you if you go watch a different video. The power drawer, you know, with the electrical there, and, you know, then the power tool drawer. You know, I like that. Obviously, if you remember when I showed you my old box here, I got the Milwaukee tools, best made, by the way, DeWalt, and I'm not a DeWalt guy. But I got them scattered, because I don't have a good place to keep them. I don't know if they'll all fit there, but a bunch of them will, and I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah. We'll see if I put it in here the right way. My shop's not huge, like I said, so if it's got to come, there's a, yeah, right there. There's the unload ramp, whatnot. It's got to go off one side or the other. I don't remember which way, or I haven't looked to see which way, but I might have to shuffle it around to get it off the pallet. Like I said, I'm not going to do that tonight. It's time for me to call it a night, but I wanted to get it in here, at least get it uncovered, so that if there would have been any damage, which there's not, I could, you know, make the phone call and, you know, find out how they handle that. Everything I have heard from even the guys that have had damaged boxes, they're really good about it. They got a scratch and dent, which it's hard to find. You can't find it on their website, but if you Google it, they've got a website or a page or whatever that's just damaged, scratch and dent, that either they found it before it was delivered, or guys just rejected it because they wanted it perfect. And some of them are dinged up pretty good, but they've got a page where you can buy that at pretty heavily discounted prices. I've checked it out. Right now, I think, as of a few days ago, last time I looked, they had a side, not a side locker, but a side cabinet. So it's another set of drawers in blue, in color. I think it's like $900 at the store, and maybe it was $5.99 or $6.99, probably $5.99. I mean, it didn't seem like a bad price, and really the damage to that was, I didn't really see much in the pictures, but I spent my allowance right now, and we're not going to worry about adding on to it right now, and I want to get it in place, or get the tools transferred, and then get it in place, and then worry about maybe planting. And it's a work in progress, like a lot of people. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll put stuff in some drawers. I know where the sockets are going to go. I know where the wrenches, you know, your combination wrenches, ratcheting wrenches, and all that are going to go. Obviously, you got the power tool drawers, so that's pretty self-explanatory what you're going to do there. The rest of it, I have no idea. I know when we got this box in 2000, I know the way things are today was not how I originally had put them in that box. So you always kind of rearrange and think, hey, maybe something would fit better here. So we'll see if I get this on YouTube. If I do, what do I have, 6 subscribers or 8 subscribers? Maybe I'll get a subscriber or 2 out of it. Don't really care. But having said that, maybe a few people will watch it. Maybe somebody from Harbor Freight will watch it. Harbor Freight, thank you. Thank you for what appears to be a really, really good product at a price that it ain't cheap. I mean, you ain't English major here. It's not cheap, but I think it's a really good value. And if I was a young guy going into the field of wrenching, as a profession, be it at a farm implement dealer business, whatnot. And I know some of those programs you go into, Snap-on, they ain't dumb, give them a discount when they're young and you got a customer for life. So I get it, but if I was a young guy and starting in that field, I don't know, I guess they all spend their money different ways, and that's just to have some of the money these guys got wrapped up in tools and toolboxes, and is it necessary? Could you, would a box like this do the same thing? Yeah, it doesn't say Snap-on on it, or Mac. Hell, sure, you can probably go to eBay or Amazon or whatever and buy a Snap-on tag and put it on there, so from 20 feet, the guy walking by, oh, he's got look at that Snap-on box. But whatever. Harbor Freight, thank you. I think it appears to me you have a really, really good product here. Delivered, this one perfect, for a good value. And we need some value out there nowadays with inflation. So I'm going to shut up. Thanks so much.